Views and opinions about world and national events from the mind of a military veteran that has served and defended this country since 1978. Insight that has been molded by the commitment and sacrifices of the men and women that are defending and have defended our freedoms for the past 247 years. Unfiltered, unedited, and certainly not PC. We are those people. Let's stand up and stand firm. Welcome, everybody. This is May 20th, May 22nd, 2021. And this is View from a Military Mind, which is a view from my mind about current events and things. I apologize for the late start. I've got several things that are going on that kind of delayed me getting in here, but I'm here. I'm going to do the show. I'm going to kind of ramble around a little bit today, different things. If you come on the chat, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube. Let us know if you got any questions or a topic you want to discuss. If all my friends out there from Moving It Right, which I co-host on Tuesdays and Thursdays, unfortunately I missed this Thursday because I did need to work. The old job kind of gets in the way there. But if you've got questions or things, please bring them up. We'll see if we can discuss the topic. I'll give you my input on that, and we'll try to make this a pretty good show. It'll be about 30 minutes today, just because of the way things are. But we'll get rolling on with it with no problem. So anyway, now first thing I want to take a look at and talk about today is the current situation that's in Israel with Hamas attacking Israel because they feel they've been slighted. As we all know, Hamas is a terrorist organization. And of course, our administration here is deciding to vacillate a lot. And you have your squad up there says we need to censure Israel or take away their military support because they're attacking Hamas. Well, terrorists are terrorists are terrorists, period. I don't care what faction you're from. If you are that blind and want to support a terrorist organization, I fully think you need to be subject to the Patriot Act and be arrested and be jailed for supporting a terrorist organization. So all of those with you with the squad or whatever party you're with, I don't care your party at this point. I really don't. You need to be arrested under the Patriot Act because you're trying to aid and abet and support a terrorist organization. There's no two ways about it. It's pretty black and white concerning that. Now, they have come under a ceasefire, which was brokered by Egypt. And of course, our friendly Sleepy Joe is trying to take credit for it, even though he really didn't want to do that. So, way to go, Sleepy Joe. Take credit again for what somebody else is doing. This seems to be the standard for our current administration. We'll take credit for what somebody else did and then bash them for doing things we don't agree with, or he doesn't agree with. I'm sorry, the American people agree we need to support Israel. There's really no choice on that. Well, there is a choice, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. We have a choice whether or not we support Israel. I do 100%. I have worked with the Israelis in a military capacity. I have been to Israel. It's actually a very beautiful country. There's wonderful people there, both Jewish, Muslim, Christian. It is a mix of people within Israel who, for the most part, enjoy living there. The problem is Hamas. They're ideologically radicalized. They think they ought to be the only ones there. I'm sorry, guys, that's not the way it works. You need to start behaving yourself and establish a legitimate government instead of trying to kill everybody and trying to take over a land that's not yours. I know there'll be some people out there that disagree with me saying, no, the Palestinians, they deserve to take over that land. That's your own opinion. Go ahead and do what you need to do. But legally, Israel is a nation state. Palestinians have the Gaza Strip. There's Palestinians living in Israel. So either start learning to live with people, living alongside people and respect their differences, or you need to move on and go somewhere else or stay on your side of the wall. There's not a lot of things. There's a few things that I don't agree with that the Israelis do. Um, some of the encampments and stuff that they put in place. And that's kind of pushing. I know you're running out of space, but hey, how about let's go to some of the interior of your own country first before we start encroaching on what it was, given to the Palestinians. Let's look at that first before we start trying to encroach on their land and taking away their stuff. There's a lot of things there's some things that the Israelis do that I don't agree with, but for the most part, overall, they are doing what, as a country, should be doing, and they stand with a lot of guts and balls. Unfortunately, our current administration doesn't do that. They would rather, stand and vacillate and condemn and all this other stuff. So, but as far as Israel, I 100% support them. I would go and serve with them if I was so requested, which at my age, I don't think is going to happen. But I'm there if they need that support. I do not support terrorist organizations. Hamas needs to be eliminated. Hell, the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, was in some instances better than Hamas. So maybe we need to bring those guys back. But despite Benjamin Netanyahu being investigated and all this, hey, not our business. They stay out of ours, even though they don't like what some of our stuff is done. He's doing his job. So anyway, so moving on and looking at some of these bills that we've got going on up in Congress. Our administration wanting to spend more of our money. Just print it out. Let's not have anything to back it up. Of course, we've been away from the gold standard for a long time. We've been away from the silver standard for a long time. So our money is paper, based on electronic analysis, or electronic counting. We're just going to print some more. We're going to start spending trillions of dollars for an infrastructure that he's kind of vague on. I haven't seen a whole lot for infrastructure. So if anybody out there can tell me what his infrastructure is that he's going to fix and how it's going to create jobs, please inform me. I've yet to see how it's going to work. Of course, they've gone back and they've come up with what they call a bipartisan agreement. They reduced it by $1 trillion, where they can get some Republicans on board. My dear Republicans, please, let's pay attention and let's investigate what's going on there before we start agreeing to do some of these things. We don't want to get ourselves into a bind by being a bipartisan on something that's no good. So, thank you, BeLive. I appreciate you telling me. Thanking you for broadcasting. I'm still broadcasting the last I knew. So anyway, hey, it is what it is. This broadcaster I've got is crazy. If they were ever under a military jurisdiction, they'd really be screwed up. They'd fit right in. So, but anyway, yeah, we need to quit spending money like we're pouring piss out of a boot. We knew the Democrats were going to do this when they got in there. We have no backing to stop it at this point. We can delay it. We can interfere with it, which I fully support. Our conservatives to do that. We don't need to be just pissing this money out. We're in debt now. I love the fact that some of these states are stopping this additional federal funding for the add-on unemployment benefits. I'm in the industrial, I'm in the work world every day. I can see my employers struggling to hire good people because nobody wants to go to work. They're living on a free dole from the United States government. That's crazy. That's crazy. It was even crazier. I had a young man the other day approach me and says, well, you served in the military. You were getting paid by the government. Yeah, but I frickin' worked every day. And you know what? The men and women that served beside me, to include me, we went out there and sacrificed a lot to make sure you can live the way you're living. So we didn't get that money given to us for free. We made a commitment. We swore an oath to protect and defend this country. So whiny butts like you can do what you want to do. I didn't go in there and get it for free. Well, you got free education. No, it's still not free, dude. Back when I first started, we had the VEAP, the Volunteer Education Assistance Program. We donated to it out of our paychecks. So guess what? The money we were being paid was being put back into our educational benefits. Oh yeah, and I kind of earned those educational benefits if I so choose to use them. And I did a few. So don't tell me I got given things for free. I actually worked for that stuff. Don't tell me it was given to me by my government, because guess what? They got something in trade for it. They got my service and my commitment to protect this country. And we went out and did so. So please stop with your BS. It's not working. I know I just put that in the way. Anyway, actually trying to adjust the light. I'm trying to get this new studio set up, trying to get things going. This is ad hoc last minute. So, yeah, I had to work today, so I was trying to hurry up, do some things I had to do before I got here and get back here to where I live. So I do appreciate your patience on that, and please bear with me as I make adjustments and get a studio set up. And going forward with some of the shows, I'm going to come off topic off of the news here a little bit. We'll talk about View from Military Mind. And with the changes and things that are going on in my life and with my job and things like that, we're probably going to do View from Military Mind a little bit later in the day. But it's always recorded, so you can pull it up anytime you want to. And then you can see what I've said. You can still send me comments and questions and topics you'd like for us to discuss, at our email address, vfamm2020@gmail.com, or you can post it on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, and we also have YouTube, so you can go to those. Now, going forward, there is a new social media website out that's being promoted by One American News Network called Free Talk 24. So we're going to look into that, and you may see us on Free Talk 24 at some point in time, either doing a simulcast or a pre-recorded broadcast on Free Talk 24. So we'll keep information on that. We're going to look into it, see what it's about, see what we can do with it, see if we can put a show on there. But in the meantime, check it out, Free Talk 24. See what it's all about. I'm not sure. I still need to look at it. I just learned about it today. Like I said, it's put up there by One American News Network, which is a highly conservative news network. They're a good network. They don't have all the fluff and pomp in their main news stories. Now, they do have some other shows. But yeah, One American News Network. Go ahead and check them out and see what they can do for you. They do have, you can subscribe to them for like $2.50 a month, I think, something like that. So you get just the news. Anyway, moving forward. Our current employment crisis is really killing people. Employers can't get people to come into work. And again, like I said earlier, I'm really glad and I'm supporting these states, Alabama being one of them, Florida, Texas. They're all stopping the silly federal assistance and aid that's going to them to add $300 extra for each unemployment check. That's crazy. Y'all need to get off your butts, quit living on the dole, and go back to work. There is lots of jobs out there. There are businesses opening that have positions they cannot fill that are well-paying positions. Yeah, you got to work for a living. You got to work for a living, but guess what? That's part of life. You've got to produce in order to achieve, in order to receive. And if you don't do that, you're nothing but a bum. Now I can understand if you're disabled and you can't work. Okay, there's programs out there that will help you do that if you choose to work. But we have things in place for the truly disabled to support them and keep them living properly. For those that just don't want to work, I'm sorry, I've got nothing for you. I've served my time. I work every day. I pay my taxes, and I support those who have earned that support. Hello, Amanda. Good to see you, my dear daughter. That's great. But yeah, you need to go back to work. And while I've got Amanda on there, if you're watching, you see I've got Bonehead Taxidermy on here. Give a little shout to them. Amanda and her husband have Bonehead Taxidermy over in DeVille, Louisiana. Write to me and I'll get you the information to them. We'll get an ad put up for them here probably in the next show. So, but yeah, we need to go back to work. We need to stop all this federal aid going out to everything under the cotton picking sun. Democrats are trying to move us into a socialist atmosphere. So far, they've been kind of successful, but we need to stand up and fight and stop putting this stuff out there. It's crazy. We don't need this social agenda going on in here. Speaking of social agendas, again, we'll go back into the military, which is, basis of the show, Who from Military Mind. We're starting to see more social experimentation within the armed services across the board. Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Air Force, Merchant Marine. Believe it or not, they're actually part of the military when we're at war time footing. Space Force, I'm still not sure what in the world they're doing. But they are part of the military services. But they're trying all kinds of social experimentation there. The critical race thinking has been suggested to put in place. I'm like, why? The men and women that serve together in uniform, we don't look at what our race is. We look whether or not you perform and do your job and whether you got my back when we're getting shot at. And believe me, when bullets are flying, the color of your skin does not matter. The color of your blood is what's going to matter, and we all bleed red. And we're going to defend each other. We're going to protect each other. And the people of this country need to start learning this and start protecting and defending each other against idiocracy and the aristocracy. We just run amok. We don't pay attention to what our politicians are. And we just revote them in because, well, they've been doing it so long, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm happy with where I'm at. But that's not the way it's supposed to go. Let's get rid of these people we've got in there. Let's get rid of the rhinos. Let's get rid of the socialists. Let's get rid of those who are going to hurt our country. And those who have gone in and trying to hurt our military. We have a Secretary of Defense sitting up there that has brought in socialist agenda with him and is trying to change things around. And I'll be quite honest, talking to the men and women that I know, that I see that are still on duty, are not liking it. And they've already told their retention NCOs and their recruiters and their readiness NCOs and their first sergeants, hey, I'm out when my time is up. It's time for me to DD Mal. I'm getting out of here. I'm not going to stay with this mess. They're losing the experience within the armed services that they need. Now Biden's wanting to cap us at 489,000 personnel on the military. Bringing us back to Jimmy Carter times back in 1978, when I first went in, and we almost got our asses handed to us because we were not ready. We were not ready. Why are we letting this happen? Because we put people in place, or not us. The administration put people in place that's going to allow them to play social experiments and reduce the strength of our force. They're not increasing our money that needs to be put in place. They're cutting a lot of our programs to the bare bones just to upgrade the current equipment we have, not buy new equipment, just to upgrade and fix the equipment we've got. There's nothing like driving down the road in a Humvee that's going to break down 3 times before you get 16 miles. Or you go to launch in a helicopter and you've got to come back to the airbase because it might fall out of the sky before you get to your destination. Or you've got 4 airplanes sitting in a hangar broke because you can't buy parts. And that's a two-edged sword there, buying parts, because it's either the contractor can no longer produce them because they've done jacked the price up so high that we can't afford it, or there's just not enough in the system. Social agenda they're trying to put in there. I mean, I have no idea what critical race thinking is. Can anybody explain that to me? Tell me what it is, because I don't know. Really didn't have the urge to go in and find out what it is because I think it's stupid. I know they're trying to put it into our schools, they're trying to put it into our higher institutions of higher education. There's workplaces are trying to put it in place. You've got to be kidding me. I don't want to learn about that while I'm working. I'm busy producing a product. I'm making a living. I don't need your educational input. I don't need your ideological brainwashing. If I wanted that, I'd go back to college. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. I know I'm just rambling around, and I did say that this show was going to kind of just move around and bounce around a little bit. We don't have anything set in stone. I did have a script that is kind of outdated. It doesn't have the topics I really wanted to get into today. So, and again, I ask if you guys have any topics you would like to talk about or have my input on or see what my point of view on it is, by all means, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, shoot us a little message, or you can shoot us a message on our email at vfamm2020@gmail.com. Either if we get them on the chat here on the Facebook chat, which I've got on the side, we'll answer those now or get into those topics now. If not, we'll get them on the next show. So have to excuse me, a little bit of a dry throat. It's allergy season in North Alabama, so things are kind of wonky. I got more pollen on my truck than I got black paint, so it gets kind of weirded out. When you start your truck up and a yellow cloud blow up, all of us down here in the South know about that. Ron Call, welcome to the show. Yes, we worked and had fun at the same time while we were on duty. I still do. I go in and have a good time with people. I do my work, and they do their work. We have a few of them that want to lay around, but not so much. But yeah, we've served our time in the military, and unfortunately, those times are coming to a close, and I've enjoyed what I've done. Excuse me. Let me give a real quick plug for the show that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Moving It Right with Rich Ashton. Hey, Jim Debris. Good to see you on there, bud. If you get a chance to, if you're not doing anything on Mondays, or excuse me, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can catch mine and Rich show, Moving It Right, at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. He'll give me a hard time about being in a different time zone, and I'm an hour behind, but that's all right. It means I can catch up on things early. But yeah, get a chance to. It's also on YouTube and Facebook. They have YouTube and Facebook pages. So Moving It Right with Rich Ashton. I co-host it on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 Eastern and 10 Central. Jim, welcome aboard. Like I said, if you've got any topics you'd like to discuss or get my viewpoint on, or any questions you have, please, by all means, put it up there in the chat. Same way with you, Amanda and Ron. It gives a little more to go into the show. Like I said, the show got kind of started late and off-centered today, just because there's a lot of changes going on with me. But we will continue to have our show. I enjoy doing the show. I could have a terrible day and come in and do my show, and I feel about 20% better when I get there. You like that shirt, huh, Amanda? You like that? Yeah, Amanda loves my shirt because that's her and her husband's business. So Bonehead Taxidermy, shoot me an email, vfamm2020@gmail.com, and I'll give you the contact message or contact information. So you can solicit business with Amanda and Jason Hull. Wonderful people, beautiful young lady. Jason's a good man. They've got a good business. They do good work. Amanda, Jason just went to the taxidermy show too. If you can shoot me, let me know how he did there. We can put that out. Hopefully he placed really well. But going on with some of our news things, we know that Memorial Day is coming up. That's next weekend. And I will have a show on Saturday for Memorial Day. It will be a different kind of show, so it will be in reference to Memorial Day. We know it's coming up, and a lot of people go out there. It's time for picnics and It's a season opening for boating and swimming and fishing and all the good things that are going on. But we need to remember those who sacrificed and have given us. Why we have Memorial Day. Memorial Day is time to honor our personnel that have given their lives from the Revolutionary War all the way up to today's conflicts, which fortunately we're getting the hell out of Afghanistan finally. They've given their lives and given their blood and given of themselves. Even if they lived, you've given something to defend and protect this nation and to make sure we have those things that we have today. I'm glad that some places on Memorial Day are also including our law enforcement, our firefighters. They deserve just as much recognition as the soldier, sailor, airman, marine, space cadets, I guess. I don't know. But they deserve just as much credit because they're fighting the good fight on the home front. The police are defending us from the criminal element and those who want to do us harm on a daily basis. The firefighters and the medics are out there protecting our homes or trying to save our homes or save our lives because something has happened catastrophic. They all deserve to be recognized, memorialized on Memorial Day to honor them for their sacrifice, the giving of their lives, paying the ultimate price. I have some friends that have paid that price. I've lost some friends over the years, either from direct action, whether it be in law enforcement, firefighting, or in the military, or they passed from things that were a result of different actions and different things that they did, onset of different diseases or the worsening of their injuries and illnesses. So we pay respect to those men and women this time. We give them our heart and our souls and our minds, and give them thanks for what they've protected and given to us in this great nation, in this great country, despite what our politicians do. Because as many of you know, there's only 2% of our politicians have ever served in the military or the armed forces of any type. So let's give those men and women the dues they deserve. Go out to your local national cemetery. Go out to your local cemetery that may have a veteran buried in it. Just pay your respects. If you see their family there, put a hand on their shoulder and tell them thank you. Or just stand with them in prayer. So moving on, we got about 2 minutes left in the show. Like I said, it's going to be a short 30-minute show today. So next Saturday, like I said, I will have the show next Saturday. We will do it at 1 o'clock on time. It will be a special Memorial Day show. We'll look at some things in our past conflicts, like I said, as far back as I can go, and we'll pay our respects from View from Military Mind to the men and women of this country, this great nation that have served in our armed forces. This week, Tuesday and Thursday, again, you can catch me on Moving It Right at 11 Eastern, 10 Central on Facebook and YouTube. Look it up. They have a group you can go to, see it live. I'll be on there with Rich Ashton, the host. I'm his co-host. So join me on Moving It Right on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, next Saturday, which is the Memorial Day weekend, I will be on here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. At 2 o'clock Eastern. Rich, if you're out there listening, Jim. Yeah, we've got that time split, but I will be on here for View from Military Mind on Facebook and YouTube. And like I said, check out Free Talk 24. It's put out by One American News Network. Check it out as a new social network, and we're going to check it out and see if we can get on there. So until next week, this is your host, Terry Mills, from View from Military Mind, wishing you a great weekend, safe days, and love your families. God bless America, and let's stay strong.